And we have concluded through normal review that Globalive meets the Canadian ownership and control requirements under the Act.
As Industry Minister Tony Clement in Ottawa with that news conference you're watching here on CBC News Network announcing that Canada will have a new wireless carrier, the fourth in the country now, Globalive, and the Cabinet and his department spending a long time looking at this story. Just to bring you a bit of background on it, Globalive is a company that's owned 65% by an Egyptian telecom company. So it owns 65% of the country, but owns only minority controlling shares. The CRTC, though, looking at Globalive, wanting to get into the wireless business here in Canada, took a look at it and said it isn't Canadian owned, therefore, or not Canadian owner control, and therefore couldn't serve the Canadian wireless market. So what we're hearing there from Tony Clement is that the Cabinet has used its authority and has overturned that CRTC decision to allow Globalive into the Canadian market. So Derek Stoffel, as I was listening here in Toronto, listening into what Tony Clement was saying, we knew this was coming. He'd been saying it's some urgency to bringing this to a conclusion, this decision, Derek, and give us a little bit more of your sense of it.
That's right. Not really a surprise. Tony Clement has been saying for the last couple of weeks that it's urgent. It's very important that Canada's wireless industry have more competition. You'll remember a couple of years ago there was this big spectrum auction in which a number of companies competed to, really bring more companies involved into the wireless industry. Canadian consumers have long complained about high cell phone bills, and so the government really wanted to take action, and I think that's why, not a surprise today to see Tony Clement burying or overturning the CRTC decision, because it does provide for Globalive. They're going to be operating under the name Wind Wireless, and it also sort of opens the door to 2 or 3 other companies to give more cell phone service across the country. I think for consumers certainly will be pleased by this, but not so sure about Bell, TELUS, and Rogers, the other big players in the industry.
So when you talk about consumers, it'll be a question of what? Choice and cost. They'll talk about competition leading to that end result for consumers?
That's right. Yeah, just, outside of the CBC Bureau here, there's already posters up for a couple of these companies saying, no need for long-term contracts, lower rates, things like that. So already this war sort of is ramping up in terms of lower telecoms prices for cell phones and things like that. And as I say that, I've for years I've covered stories about the telecom industry, and Canadian consumers just really feel at times ripped off. So I think good news if you are from the consumer standpoint today.
Absolutely. 6 weeks stalled deciding what to do about this, and now the fourth national carrier into the market with the announcement there from Tony Clement that Globalive will be allowed to operate in Canada as Derek said, Wind Wireless. Derek, thanks very much for that.